This video may contain scenes that are distressing for people who went through this fire in 2009. I'm asking for anyone who went through this fire not to watch this, please. Get take on. Welcome to Inside Firestorm Part 7. Well, where we left off in Part 6. Okay. Here we go.
The flank, stretching to Strathewen and St Andrews, is now the huge new front of the fire. Many more towns are in range.
Oh God.
At the top of the mountain,
Kinglake
is one of the first in line.
No panic, no fear, none of those emotions. Just put the plan into action and the fire will go over the top of your house, and then when it's gone over the top of your house you come out with your mop and bucket and you put out the embers. We knew the plan, we had been told it 100 times, we knew it off by heart.
A bushfire is totally different.
House is full.
And that's totally
Nick
different.
and Jen wait with son Danny and their grandchildren, 15-year-old Mackenzie, 13-year-old Aidan, and 9-year-old Neve. Neighbours Melanie and Penny, the Chambers sisters, also shelter.
I was still in shorts and a shirt and thong sort of thing. And Danny, my son, come out and told me to go and put your fire stuff on, your woolen jumper and your tracksuit. And I said, yeah, righto. And he said, you know, I'll just spray out here with a firefighter. He was going. So I was lucky he come in and told me to do that. So that was one thing he, you know, and he's still arguing me and saying, ah, you're silly, you're doing the wrong, you're doing this wrong, because he always said that to me anyway, you know. I was always doing something wrong. So anyway, he made me go and change, which was good.
I started to get told the kids to get into thicker clothes and help Neve get into hers. The two young lasses down the street had come up by this time, and they came in with their animals, and I said to them and to all the children, we need to wet some towels and put them in front of the doors.
Oh God, that's what it looks like in Kinglake.
Kinglake has been warned once on the radio, and an urgent threat message has just flashed up for the first time on the CFA website. But with the fire racing towards the main street, warnings are now irrelevant.
There was a lot of smoke, a lot of embers, and wind. There was people crowding into the fire station, people panicking, you know, kids or people crying. There was, yeah, it was crazy.
Pandemania.
It was a wall of flame that came up that mountain. It came up so fast that I've never seen the likes of.
Yep.
As the town is engulfed, those on the main street scramble for cover anywhere they can. This cafe becomes an emergency refuge for the stranded. While just yards away, the Clarks cling to their plan.
When the embers started coming, it was like a hailstorm of embers coming across the top of the roof and landing on top of me, which was just coming down, just like hail, but it was embers. So I started, Danny yelled out, he said, the front's on fire, and I directed the hose over the roof into the front, and that didn't seem to be doing nothing. And that's when they said, you better get in the house. So I came racing, I just dropped the hose and raced into the house to help them in there. And by this time, Jen had blocked all the doorways up with wet towels. And the girls were laying down, the chamber girls, and Mac and Danny and my dog Pearl, all in the hallway. And Aidan and me are stepping over the top of them to carry the buckets to the lounge room.
I need to get a hold of Mum and Dad. I need to let them know that Ross has got fire and that it could be coming towards them. And so I rang, and eventually Danny answered, my brother Danny answered the phone and said, Beck, we're stuffed. And I go, what's wrong? And he goes, we're surrounded by fire. I said, you're kidding? He goes, no, we're surrounded by fire. I could hear the smoke alarms, and I could hear the dogs and the kids all crying and screaming in the background. And he said, we're just stuffed. He said, there's no CFA, we're stuffed, we're completely surrounded. I said, can you get out? He said, we can't get out, we can't do anything. He said, we're stuffed. And I said, okay, mate. I said, I'll let you go. Just do your best. And that was it. I wished I made him give me the phone to one of the kids so that I could have at least talked to them.
I walked into the lounge room to make sure that everything was sort of all right, and I've had floor-to-ceiling windows, 4 of them in the lounge room, and they just all blew in simultaneously, and the fire was in the lounge room.
They were breaking and popping, and then the curtains caught on fire, which we hadn't taken down. There's another thing we had no time to do, which we knew we had to do. So once the curtains caught on fire, the smoke filled the house up, and you just couldn't breathe and see. And Aidan and me are carrying buckets of water, and we're throwing them on the windows, trying to douse the fire. And then
Listen to his voice.
we had to get out for our own. We couldn't get the kids out. We yelled at them, and they couldn't hear us. So we opened the front door, and the fire was still burning. But I went out and had a look. I said, come on, we've got to get out this way. And I grabbed Aidan and Jen and said, come on, quick, get out. And we yelled at the other kids, go out the back door. Go out the back door. You'll be right. Because they're all down the hallway where the back door was. And Aidan, Jenny and me got on the front lawn, and they didn't come out.
And we called and called their names, and Aidan was hanging on to me still. And then I thought I might be able to get round the side and get in through the laundry door. And I tried to run around that side, and you couldn't get through. The fire was just burning the house down.
And she was still screaming and screaming and screaming. The kids, and I'm saying, nothing we can do, sweet, nothing we could do. And she said, oh.
God.
And she started to feel the pain
My
with all the burns then, and they start to affect her. And with all the smoke she's taken in, she couldn't breathe.
And then I knew that I had to ring Becky to let her know, because I couldn't have that. I couldn't not let her know that her children were dead. And I don't know, Aidan just dialed the number, and don't ask me why, but we got through. And I told her.
And she said, Beck, they're all gone. And I go, what do you mean they're gone? Gone where? She goes, no, Beck, they're all gone. They're dead. The house is burnt down. I couldn't get them out. They're gone.
And she screamed and screamed and screamed. And then their phone just went dead.
Oh, God.
Danny Clark, his 15-year-old nephew Mackenzie, neighbours Melanie and Penny Chambers, and little 9-year-old Neve all lost their lives trying to protect one another in the same home.
Churchill.
The wind change has hit Gippsland in the southeast. The fire that started at lunchtime in Churchill is now being pushed in a completely new direction. It reaches up into the Strzelecki Ranges. The steep inclines pushing the fire quicker and quicker. Temperatures scorch beyond 1,000 degrees, hotter than a kiln. By 7 o'clock, the fire reaches Callignee, where a veteran of Victoria's worst ever bushfires in 1939 takes to the trenches once again.
It's just like somebody getting a great big shovel full of red hot ashes and dropping on you. All of a sudden, you know, it was pitch black with smoke and that and heat, and we knew it.
I'm not going to say hope you enjoyed it, but please like, subscribe, comment down below. See you in the next one. Goodbye. Farewell. Amen. Thank you for
risking head and skin. If we're behind, then never mind, we'll fight and win. No, we're from